Hey everybody, come on in, come on in, come on in. It's Candid Combos. Candid Combos. So, Stephanie, every show we take the first 30 seconds to a minute to go to our personal pages and share so that anybody out there who wants to watch can join in. So, I'm going to take a few minutes to share. If you will do that
Okay.
as well, that'll be great. What you need to do is
Okay.
go to our Catapult You page. Right there in Catapult You, you'll see it's already broadcasting and you can share to your personal page, your business page, or wherever else you think people might want to join in. If y'all are joining us, let us know y'all are here. And I'm going to make a quick note. So it looks like we have three people viewing. Hey, whoever's out there, join
Hi.
now as we discuss mindfulness and mental health. If y'all are new to the broadcast, what's up? What's up? We take the first 30 seconds to a minute to invite people who may be willing to join or want to join or see what's going on. We are using a different platform than just the general Facebook Live. So if you're out there, we can't see that you're here until you tell us what's up. So make sure you tell us, hey, Latasha, Berry Lips, yes, girl. Yes, girl. It's been a minute since I've seen her, but she's the bomb. Y'all go follow her. Will slay you, honey, with her fashions. So y'all come in, say hey, let us know where y'all are tuning in from, so we know you're out there. Without you saying hello, saying a comment, we may see that we have people watching, but we don't know who's out there. So hey, Latasha, hey, Britt, come on in, come on in. We see y'all out there. What's up, everybody? Ladies,
Hi.
I'm telling you, gentlemen, whoever's watching, this is the one you don't want to miss. Share with your networks. We're talking about mindfulness and mental health. So we got about 10 more seconds. Come on, y'all. Let's share. 10 more seconds and we'll get in there. And Stephanie, what I like to say to all of my guests is whether we have 4 people or 400 viewing, we love to get started right on time. For those
Okay.
that join in at 12, we get started. And usually people start coming in and saying what's up later on. So, with
Okay.
that being said, hey, everybody, it's Candid Conversations. For those of you who do not know what this is, my name is Candace Allen. I am the managing partner of Hill Duvernay and Associates, and I am the president of Duvernay Enterprises. So, Duvernay Enterprises is a consulting firm geared towards helping women along their path to optimal work-life balance, and that means something different for every person. So, for some women, that means I spend 80% at home, 10% at the job, and 10% doing my own thing. For other women, it's a 50-50 split between work and dating. Whatever it is for you, we're here to be that vessel and that group as a support system. And what we do every Friday is we have a show that's geared toward different things. Sometimes we talk mental health, other times we discuss personal things like physical fitness. We've had talks about collective trauma. We talked about getting your hair slayed during Corona. We've talked about it all. And so I'm really excited for this week's show because we're going to be discussing mindfulness. And we are joined by my one of my very best friends, Stephanie Nichols. And before she introduces herself, I wanted to let you all know why I decided that we should discuss mindfulness. So many of you all know that I am a lupus warrior. That means that I am fighting lupus. I am winning the battle against lupus. And what I've done in that physical fitness journey is made it a point to actively pursue good health. Present latte notwithstanding, I've been drinking a lot more water. I've been working out a lot more. I've been eating healthier. And what I realized was it was a lot harder to change those negative physical habits that I created over the years. And so, Stephanie, who is a licensed therapist, was telling me that mindfulness is a similar kind of thing when we talk about our mind health. Okay. A lot of us know the importance of going to a therapist when we have trauma. We know the importance of going to see a doctor when we have something crazy going on in our mind. We lose a loved one, or it's the middle of a pandemic and we don't know what to do. We know the idea, thankfully, of the importance of getting a counselor then, but there are things we can be doing daily, hourly, minute by minute, that will help us exercise good mental health even when we're not in the middle of a crisis. And mindset is one of those, and mindfulness is one of those tools that we have. So to discuss mindfulness is my friend Stephanie. Why don't you introduce yourself, tell the people who you are and what you like to share with us?
Sure. Hi, everyone. I am Stephanie Nichols again. I am a licensed clinical social worker, and I am a champion of mental health advocacy. And I also like to tell people, social workers come in different facets. So I always like to debunk that myth that social workers don't just come to your house and take your kids. They do provide therapy. They are in practice, private practice. We're everywhere. So I am the owner of Mindful Therapy Works. It is a solo-owned private practice where I provide mental health therapy to the anxious, to the depressed, to the stressed, and those suffering from grief and loss symptoms and difficulties. I am on insurance panels. I take Blue Cross Blue Shield. I take Aetna. And I'm also paneled for United Healthcare under the Georgia school system. So if students and professors, people who fall under that umbrella, I am paneled with them as well. So I see just about everyone, mostly older teens and up. Most of my practice is women, but I will not turn anyone away at all. And I've been practicing and on my own for some years now, doing therapy, and I love it. So that's just me. My office is in Vining, so it's convenient, and people love it. You can just hop on major interstates to get to me.
And you also forgot cash pay. Okay, so you don't have to just come through one of those panels, y'all. She does
Right,
cash
right.
as well.
I
And
would
I
not
you're
turn
doing
cash pay
telehealth,
away.
right? You do
Say
telehealth as
that
well.
again.
Telehealth.
Yes. Right now with COVID and being quarantined, all the insurance, most of them anyway, the ones I'm on are covering for telehealth virtual sessions. Most will be on a platform that is secure. They'll be in an office space like this, and then you'll do your regular therapy. And yeah, they're paying for the telehealth, and a lot are waiving copays and some co-insurances during this time. It just gets extended as we still go through COVID. It gets extended over time. You just have to check your insurance. But for now, a lot of my colleagues are providing telemental health as well.
And the reason I brought up telehealth before we get into the actual meat of it, a few weeks ago we were joined by Morgan and Dr. Matisa, and they were both talking about and the benefits of telehealth. So you don't have to, if you feel concerned about going out in the middle of COVID, you can still reach out to a therapist using virtual means, and it's secure. So let's get into the topic of mindfulness. What is mindfulness? We hear a lot about mindset, mindfulness. We were laughing before we went live about the fact that you've been talking about mindset for years. It seems like recently that's become a buzzword. A lot of people are
Right.
talking about mindfulness. A lot of people don't really know what that is. So, what is mindfulness?
Sure. And there are a lot of many different like definitions of mindfulness. And before I, kind of sum it up for you all, I do want to say that mindfulness is not something that you're done with at one time. It's not like check box, oh, I'm done. I know how to be mindful. I can just move on with life. It is something that you continue to work on throughout your life. It's like a journey. You know what I mean? Like I look at it like this is my mindfulness journey. Everyone has their own mindfulness journey as well. So, there'll be good days, there'll be bad days, but on your journey, you're going to have hiccups. So you never want to be too hard on yourself about hiccups during your mindfulness journey. And so mindfulness really is about being present in your day-to-day living, being present internally as well as externally, what's going on with you without any added judgment, right? So it's two parts with the mindfulness. It's the non-judgmental part and it's the being present part. When you say I'm trying to live more mindfully, those are the two main core parts about it, right? So for example, in case, like COVID, like, oh my gosh, I hate that we're quarantined. I hate that we're quarantined right now. You know what I mean? Like, it's just the worst thing ever. You have judged the situation that you're in. Okay. You're not accepting it. You're judging it. And so with that judgment comes all these feelings that we continue to, hold on to and grasp on to that make our mental health kind of become negative, right? So and I wanted to give examples that were relevant to right now. When I say mindfulness focuses on mainly two parts, the non-judgmental part and the being present part, right? And so being present would be, similar like, hey, this is where I am right now. You know what I mean? I am quarantined. This is COVID 2020. This is how the year is. And I'm just going to accept that and be present. There's this term called radical acceptance. And so mindfulness is a way of living where you are in tune with where you are. You're in tune with what's going on with your body, what's going on with the world around you without added judgment. one of the leading pioneers of studies, say that it's waking up from a life on automatic. That's
Mm.
how they describe mindfulness,
Come on,
waking
girl.
up from a life on automatic. And I mean, you know what I mean? That if that does not impact your mental health, waking up from just go, 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 do, I don't know what is. So it's hard to say, mindfulness is one thing, but at the core of it is those two principles.
That's very helpful. So you said non-judgmental and being present. So when I'm non-judgmental, that means that instead of, I guess if I'm saying, okay, we can't go to Hawaii. This is a real example. Can't go to
Hmm.
Hawaii right now. Instead of, I can still feel sad about it.
Right.
So explain the difference between feeling the emotion and passing a judgment, because I think that's a very important distinction.
Right. So feeling the emotion, you can feel sad about it. You know what I mean? You could be like, dang, I can't believe that, right? And then judging it as like, this is the worst thing that can happen in
Mm,
my life, right? This is horrible. Nothing good can come of this, right? That is judgment. We judge ourselves and we judge situations, right? So that's the difference there. You're putting a label to what happened as opposed to being like, okay, I am sad, I am bummed out about it, and then kind of moving on, not sitting there in that judgment.
right. I love that. And I love what you said about being present, because I know that a lot of people, like my pastor, if he's watching, he tends to watch my show sometimes. He always
Hmm.
says, I'm throwing up both of my hands, right? So this is not a judgment on anybody, but I'll be honest. I have been that person that's literally, okay, got the show. What's next? Okay, I got a meeting at 2. What's next? I got
Hmm.
this, I got that. And what happens is it makes you start to feel like there's not enough time in the day, And
Right.
so I love the idea of, I'm on a show right now with my friend,
Hmm.
and then I got people watching, and there's people that's going to be sharing, and then later
Right.
on we'll discuss whatever else we got going on. But for right
Right.
now, for this next time frame, it's me, you, and our tribe who are discussing mindfulness. So I love that. Brittany says she never thought about that. Feel a feeling, but don't label it. And I think she's
Hmm.
not saying don't label it, Britt. She's not saying you can't call it sadness, because sadness is a legitimate feeling. It's when
Hmm.
you
Hmm.
label it with a judgment, like that sadness has to mean that this is disaster, or that
Right.
sadness
Right.
has to mean that. Like the funny thing, and we've laughed at the memes, but the memes of 2020 throw it in the trash, like that's a little scary, because the reality is we still have 6
Hmm.
more months.
Hmm.
We still have
Hmm. Hmm.
a lot of days left in the year, and so
Right. Right.
to judge an entire year based off of 6 months
Right.
is
Right.
really, that's
Right.
where the judgment piece comes in.
Yes, and then if you actually hold on to the judgment and you put it in the trash, so how are you going to feel from July to December?
Right,
You're not
right.
going to feel your best. You're not going to feel great. You may not even be motivated to do much because you hold on to such a judgmental label as if like the whole year was trash. So
Right.
mindfulness is really big on like non-judgmental. It's almost like you're observing, your feelings. You're observing the thoughts. You're not like attaching to them.
Right. And I love what you said about, if we put that judgment on it, just like a
Hmm.
judgment. I mean, I know your husband's a lawyer. He may be watching. Sometimes we can appeal, but for the most part, judgments are final. And so I
Hmm.
love the idea of, if you think about removing the judgment, you're removing the finality of the situation. And that just freed me. Come on, somebody. If you remove the judgment, if you remove the fact that you're going to put a stamp of finality on this situation, you're free to reroute, you're free to pivot, you're free to
Right.
feel what you're feeling, but still move on and move out of it. I love that. I love that.
Hmm.
Now,
Hmm.
a lot of this may feel a little foo-foo. I'll be honest. I know we want
Hmm.
to talk about the myths. Let's talk about some of the common myths of mindfulness, because I'll be honest, a lot of people, they hear talk like this and it feels very pie in the sky. It doesn't feel very real,
Right.
because we know
Right.
we
Right.
know that emotions are real. We know that when I'm crying, I'm sad. We know that anger is real. And I think that I love how you describe and define it as not having the emotion. It's not attaching judgment to the emotion. But what are some other myths that we people have shared in
Hmm.
regards to
Hmm.
mindfulness that we need to debunk today so we can get some freedom?
Right. Yeah. And you know what? I didn't even add this myth, but the fact that it's frou-frou, I feel like is a myth in and of itself,
Right.
right? Like there's actual science behind mindfulness. And when we get to the tool section, like you get to mindfulness using tools,
Okay.
right? And so using the tools, doing the practices is where the benefits come into play, right? And so there have been studies where they followed people who have put these tools in place, who have used these methods on a regular basis, and the benefits that they have experienced over time, right? So we're not just talking about like, oh, let's think, change our thoughts and things like that, but they're actual tools that you can use, or practices that you do in your day to day that will help you. So frou, I'll just say that was the myth that I didn't have listed down. So, and then the second one is really that, oh, if I'm practicing mindfulness, if I do yoga, then that means I'm changing my religion. That means it's demonic. That just means, I'm not Christian, or whatever you practice. You feel like there's a switch because you're being mindful. And I think that's one of the biggest myths, because it was founded on like centuries ago on Buddhist principles, but the act of like being still is not a Buddhist thing, right? It is in our own religions as Christians, be still and know that I am God. Like that is, Bible verse, be still, right? And so do not worry about tomorrow. That can also be found in the Bible. So, I'm just saying it is not about, I'm switching religions because I'm practicing mindfulness, I'm practicing yoga, I'm doing meditation. That is not, I feel like that's one of the biggest misconceptions out there. You don't have to chant. You don't have to do things a specific way. There's a way to be mindful for each and every one of us.
And I love that you said that. And Romans 12 says, do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind in Christ Jesus. Mm-hmm. So the Bible talks about the mind, and it talks about renewing the mind. If you talk about renewing the mind, that goes back to that mindfulness, not casting a judgment with finality, but having the renewal. And so I love that. So we got the first myth. You don't have to change your religion to practice mindfulness. And one of our tribe members, Dr. Matisa, I'm not sure if she's watching today, but she is a prayer warrior. You hear me? Like, we'll pray heaven down. She is kingdom minded. She is Pentecostal to her core. She will pick them up, put them down. But guess what? She practices mindfulness with herself and her children, and so I love the fact that I think that everybody needs to, know God for themselves, but also the reality is that you can be a Christian and practice mindfulness. So I love that you have debunked that myth. What's another myth that people have out there?
Another myth is like who you see in the publications doing it. We may see somebody who is just Caucasian. We may just see women, right? And so the second myth is that it is for everyone, like all ages, all races. You can practice mindfulness using these tools. It doesn't make you less than anything else, right? And so like even there's been like studies or actual where they put mindfulness techniques in like urban city elementary schools.
Yeah.
And the kids just practicing, their breathing, they're practicing their techniques on a regular basis. They saw behavior changes, right? They saw behavior changes in the youth. They saw increased test scores. So mindfulness is for everyone. It can be practiced at any age, any race. So I think that's a number like two myths, like it's for one type of person, one type of race. And sometimes, like I said, in the publications, you'll see one type of person, but don't subscribe to the publications, okay?
We all need it. And let me say this real quick. If y'all are watching, we got a lot of people watching now. For y'all, please like and share this, because I think it's helping somebody out there. Also, Stephanie and I can't see who's on. So if you are out there, please tell us what's up so we know who's on. We know that Latasha's watching. We know that Brittany's watching because they've commented on the thread. If for some reason you make a comment and I don't acknowledge it, it means that we're not seeing it. Shoot me a message in the Catapult You page. You can shoot me a message. I have that up on my right screen. So if you see me looking to the right, we're free to ask if you want to ask questions or give any kind of insight. But just know that it's not just me and Stephanie just talking. It's for all of us. So share, like, and ask your questions, share your comments, and get in on the conversation, okay? And like I said, if you send a comment and we don't respond, it means I'm not seeing it, but the Catapult You page, we see it over there, okay? So let's move on. Are there any more myths that you got to debunk, or you think you got them?
I got most of them, but the last one is that you have to like travel and go to this luxurious place to do it. Like you can be mindful in your office, in your car on the way to work. Okay. You don't need a all expense paid trip to Bali to practice mindfulness. We can't travel anyway. So I'm letting you know, you can do it wherever you are. Myth number 3.
And I love that, because the reality is, because mindfulness is a mind thing, Now, you obviously have to remove distractions. I know you're gonna give us some practical tips for that later on. But if
Hmm.
it's in your mind goes where you go. You know, so
Right.
while I do believe in travel, we had a travel show a few weeks ago. I definitely believe in getting away from some of
Sure.
the hustle and bustle. You don't have to do that to be able to get in. And as you start learning, I love that, Tasha. We can't travel anyway, but we get inside our mind and start working. So, what are some of the benefits? So we talked about the myths of it. So we already established that it's not frou-frou, that black women and men and whoever else can do it as
Hmm.
well,
Hmm.
and that we don't have to go anywhere to do it. But what's the benefit of doing it? Why should I do it? You know, especially those
Right. Right.
out there who we pray or we journal or we have girlfriends we talk to, we see a therapist. What is a benefit of practicing mindfulness and adding
Hmm.
that to some
Hmm.
of our tools?
Sure. So I see the benefits on my end as twofold. I see the physical benefits, and then I also see the mental health benefits. Physical wise, it has been known to lower blood pressure. It has been known to build up your autoimmune system, and we know how important our immune system is during this time, right? It has been known to improve sleep. It has been known to help alleviate chronic pain, some gastrointestinal issues. Like these are studies that have been made, just over, let's say, a course of 6 weeks of, practicing mindfulness techniques, that they have seen a reduction in some of these ailments in their patients. So, on a physical level, incorporating these techniques on a regular basis, you can see improvements in your body, your overall physical well being. Like I said, everything from improved sleep to just lowered like blood pressure and stress levels.
Okay. So
Okay.
that's the physical, which I know you're going to give us some other benefits, but
Hmm.
I think the one I want to put a pin in that because we talked about our very first show with the guest with Krista Janae was I'm sure she's watching. She normally has some comments, so maybe she's driving or whatever. But what she talked about was before you get ready to do a health journey, whether it's a 30-day challenge or you're going to change your diet, you want to start in your mind because the body follows the mind. And I love that you're saying literally we have science that backs it up that
Hmm.
the body follows the mind. Um, Oh, okay. Arlisa has a good question about recommendations on getting away from distractions. I'm sure we have some mindfulness techniques coming, Arlisa. So yes, we're going to answer that question. But before we get there, I know in addition to being having some physical benefits, there are some other benefits. So what are some other benefits before we get to that next question, Steph?
Okay. Yeah, it's just lowered stress overall, lowered stress overall. And I bet you all can tell that with more focus, with increased mindfulness techniques, your focus grows and you reclaim your time, better. You don't feel all over the place. You feel very centered. For those who may struggle with anxiety and depressed moods, it helps you cope better with those symptoms, helps you manage better, help you self-regulate, right? And also, if you all can't tell already, it's big on self-compassion. It's big on just giving yourself a break and letting it go. So mental health wise, like giving yourself more grace, being more compassionate to yourself, all of that improves your overall mental health.
Yes, and I love that you said that about anxiety. So y'all can tell I'm very much like, come on, let's go, let's go. And so for me, I have several businesses. I have two small children. I'm fighting this autoimmune disease. I got a lot of stuff going on. I actually have several jobs. Thank the Lord. I'm a judge and a lot of other stuff. And so I have a lot on my plate. And in practicing mindfulness, it has really helped me to like stay present. Okay. So right now I'm talking to Stephanie. In an hour, I'll have a meeting, but that meeting will come up in an hour. Tonight I got to hang out with my kids and figure out what I'm going to do, but that the evening hasn't come yet. And so I love the idea of removing the anxiety and the stress, and by these practices we can do that. So let's get into it. Our Lisa said, what are some recommendations on getting away from the distractions in the home in order to practice mindfulness techniques? Can you share with some of those techniques that you have for us about mindfulness in some ways? And I know that Mercy asked about some actual tools. So y'all are right on point because we actually had planned on talking about all of these things today. So let's talk about the actual techniques first, and then we'll talk about some added tools to help us with the mindfulness factor.
Right. Okay. So, how to incorporate it in your daily life, what tools that you need. Sometimes we won't be able to get away from our house. sometimes we are going to be in the house, so I want to just kind of put that out there. And your everyday to day task, I want you to try to be as mindful as possible. So we'll take something as simple as like, taking a shower. That's just an easy one, right?
Right.
Whether it's 5 minutes, 15 minutes, however long you're in there, that is your time. Like at that time, I need you to use all your senses and be present in that shower, in that bath. Like do what you're doing, focus on yourself. You know what I mean? So there are times where you won't be able to leave your house, but the activities that you're doing that you only have 5, 10 minutes to yourself, be as present as possible to awaken those senses. Okay. So that's just one, like saying eating, eating
Let's stop there a
slowly.
step before we go to
Okay.
because I mean, for the mamas that are watching, that shower time is very important. So, what does it look like before we go into eating? You say be present. Is
Hmm.
there something that we're saying now? We're not doing. If you're a Buddhist, God bless you. I know somebody said they do that
Right.
mindful
No. Uh-huh.
prayers. But what are some
Sure.
things that we can do to kind of get out of our
Yeah.
the rigor of okay, I got a pot roast in the crock pot. The
Right.
kids
Right.
or what do we do in that shower? Like for real
Okay.
practice. Tell our Lisa
Right.
and me and whoever else, what do we do in that shower?
Right, right, right. So, you're going in the shower, you grab your towel, what I mean? You grab your towel that you want, the fluffiest towel, the towel that has the downy in it, you smelling the towel. I mean, honestly, it is a slow process that is just
Okay.
for you. Once you shut that door, you are just in the moment, waking up your senses. Okay.
Okay.
So use your senses to get out your head, right? Like touch, taste, smell, hear, use those, right? So you get your towel, then you're in the shower, or you brought in your favorite, I don't know, body wash, whatever your favorite scent is, right? We're lathering, we're touching the lather, we're
Mm,
smelling the lather, we're making sure this is my shoulder. We're acknowledging what we're doing so that we are out of our heads, right? Like
uh,
you're taking your like you know how you rush so fast, like did I put deodorant on?
can I
Because
get
you're
up under
moving
there?
too fast. You're moving too fast. You are moving to, and I'm guilty. I'm not gonna say I'm perfect. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like you are moving way too fast when you can't remember the 5 minutes that you had. Did you do this? Did you wash a certain part? Right. So you need to just take your time in that shower. The shower hits. You know what I mean? Shower bombs. Yes. The shower hits you. You feel the water. You turn around. You are just so present with that. Is it hot? Is it cold? How does it actually feel when it's hitting? Change the settings. Change the shower head settings. Feel the different, pats on the body, right? If you're in the tub, you know what I'm saying? Move your legs around. Feel the wave. Like that is your time, right? And then whatever you can do to incorporate smell, to incorporate sound. Maybe you have some music in there, perhaps, maybe there's something that's going on. But the more senses you tune into, the more you get out of your mind. And it's a quick refresh. You don't need, 30 minutes. We might not have it, right? So it's
Right.
a quick refresh that surprisingly, if you just give yourself the 8 minutes, 10 minutes, and you're fully present with all those senses, just at home, you'll feel good when you get out. Put your feet in the
Yes.
slippers. And that's how it looks like for me. You know what I mean? And I feel like that's how it could look like for you if you remain present in that shower.
Yes. I love
So,
what Melanie was saying. And I know that once again, throwing up both of my hands, when's the last time you savor something as simple as a shower?
mhm,
Like
mhm,
every step of
mhm,
it, and just by giving that example, that's even something like a salad, or the reason we go to these are things we got to do. We got to eat, right? But if
mhm,
something, and
mhm.
I say salad, you made that face because you know me, I don't really eat salads. So I'm telling my business best friend with your
I'm
face.
not. I'm not.
Okay, steak. Okay, can you smile on the steak?
Mhm,
So
mhm.
something as simple as I gotta eat. Let me get my steak and my potato instead of rushing through it. I only have 10 minutes, but guess what? I can enjoy that savor. I can enjoy that flavor. It tastes good or whatever. And process that and move on. So I love that. Now you were talking about also when you're eating, so that's a good segue. So
Yeah, that's a perfect segue. And so it's like mindful eating that there are actual like, groups that practice mindful eating where basically it's really savoring that experience. We're not talking, we're not on our phone. When you put the fork in, you sit it down, you chew the food entire, like it's gone before you pick the fork back up. You know what I
right.
mean? We're not like just going, going, going. We are like in the moment. So you
Mhm.
take your sip, you sip it, you feel how it feels going down your throat. you feel the flavors. You're just present with your dining experience by yourself, right?
Right.
And so that is kind of like mindful eating. The things that we're doing in our day to day, we can do mindfully, especially if we cannot escape. So, you
I
know,
love that. I love that. Let me tell you why that's freeing, because a lot of the women that are watching, Kristen said, as a single mom, this feels so foreign. Single mamas, mamas like me, I know a lot of ladies who are watching aren't moms, but they have other things that they're doing. They're running around. That this is so freeing, because the reality is,
mhm,
the reason we find that work-life balance is because we choose not to judge the stress of life. We just enjoy
mhm,
it. We process it, like
mhm,
driving to work, like, yes, I might be in traffic, but guess what? That's another 10 minutes I can be listening to my jam. If y'all follow me on Instagram, I was going in with my choir today, so I love the idea of not having to escape for the mindfulness, but because of
right.
the tool, we are literally finding the time to savor whatever, as small as it may be, those five
Mhm,
minutes,
mhm, mhm,
And
mhm.
Brittany said Judah burst in the door, and Kristen said, lock the door, he'll be all right. Um, Ellie said he's a little now, but eventually he'll start locking the door. But here's the thing, the funny thing about that, I know you have a little one. We have to make it a point, and we
Mhm,
talk about this with Catapult You. We've done it at previous retreats, is just making ourselves a priority. So I know as a single mama, you may not have somebody that can watch the baby while you're in the bathroom. Like, let's keep it real, or you have a big project. So at some point, it may be at 12 o'clock midnight. You finally got the baby sleep. She's finally doing what she needs to do. And you have
mhm,
literally 5 minutes because you want to get a good 6, 7 hours of rest. In that 5 minutes, turn on the candle, get you a little hot shower or whatever, and process the day. And I love
mhm,
finding the joy and the self-care in those small moments, because
mhm.
the reality is, what I found is that a lot of people sell mindfulness as these, like, we see all these Facebook pages. Kristen and I and Brittany, those are my two sisters, my biological sisters, we'll have YouTube days where we literally are going down the rabbit, and Stephanie, we've done it too, the
Yes.
rabbit hole of these videos. And I went down a recent rabbit hole of these rituals, morning rituals. And girl, it was beautiful. Wake up, stretch, skin brushing, you know, pray for 20 minutes, then take a shower. And then, now I'll be honest, my kids are older, so I can probably do a 30, 40-minute ritual, right?
Mhm, mhm,
But they're also not in school right now. They also are
mhm.
they're able to get their own, teeth brush and all of that stuff. But when my
Right.
babies were little, I didn't have that option. I didn't have the ability to get up and just take
Mhm,
40 minutes
mhm.
to myself. So I really appreciate you giving us that freedom of saying, you know what, I may only have 5 minutes to wash my behind because I ain't gonna be out there stinking. And in that 5 minutes, I'm gonna do some mindfulness as well. Okay.
Right. And let me just add that um I'm a new mom, so baby is 12 weeks today, and she is testing my mindfulness. You hear me? She is testing. She's testing my mindfulness. But and I have always been, big on yoga. Trying to low key be a yogi, and I've always done 30 minutes or more practices.
Mhm.
And it just really bothered me the fact I just preferred to sleep. And I didn't have 30 minutes. This happened like literally, I think 2 days ago. But
Mhm.
I wanted to practice the mindfulness before I went to bed, right? And so, and I can be a little anxious, and you have a new baby, you want to
Yeah.
make sure everything's okay. So I turned on the channel, my favorite yogi, and it was a 12-minute workout. I said, "Dang, what am I doing 12 minutes? 12
Uh-huh.
minutes, really?" But I did it. I shut the door. She was quiet, and but I was so present. I felt every like body part. I felt every movement. I literally let go of the day, and I slept well. And it was just 12 minutes, but because it was so intentional, I feel, and I left the day, I just didn't hop into bed and like, made myself go to sleep.
Yeah.
It was restorative for me.
Mhm.
So I'm letting go of like, you need these long practices and you need to do long stretches of things because we don't always have those moments. It's about that intentional in purpose being, in the moment.
Right. And
So
you know what I've noticed is that for uh and I would be real, preaching to myself again, that 12 minutes I've spent, scrolling Facebook,
hmm
laughing at
hmm
somebody's Instagram post, like very few of us have no time during the day. Now I'm sure there's somebody out there, and God bless you, there's no judgment. for those who don't.
Mm-hmm.
But many of us have 5 to 10 minutes a day where we can literally just say, this is my time. But what the struggle is for us, while we have Catapult You, is we have to encourage ourselves to make ourselves a priority. So I love how you
Mm-hmm.
said for that 12 minutes, baby, you're gonna be over there, baby Nichols, and I'm gonna do this.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like the example I gave earlier to Chris and Janae. Like if it's a 5 minute day. And I love how you said we're not going to just jump in the bed. As exhausted as we are, we're going to make it a point to have
Yeah.
those times for our mindfulness. So
Transition.
I love that. I love that. Kristen asks, what does mindfulness look like with kids being home all day during virtual learning? Do you have any tips for that?
Like for yourself?
Yes. Well, I'm
Yeah.
assuming Chris chime in. So let's say for yourself right now. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really just those small moments. It's really capturing the small moments where you can. Like this morning for me, it just started off with a hot cup of coffee. What's my favorite mug? You know what I
Mhm.
mean? And feeling the coffee, sitting for a minute without my phone, without any distractions, and just sipping the coffee slowly. Like it's going to look like short breaks of mindfulness while you're at home. If you're able to get away and do a practice, do a short workout, do a yoga session, do whatever. If you're able to get away, go on a walk, then you're super intentional about that time that you do have while the kids are learning virtually. But it may just look like a lot of short moments throughout the day if you can't extend it out with some type of practice where you can be in tune with yourself.
Yes, I love that we're changing the narrative of self care having to be 30, 40 minutes, go to a spa, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
Mm-hmm.
I do
Yeah,
believe that there is benefits of being able to get away when you can, but when you're
of
not,
course.
that doesn't mean that your self-care has to fall apart, which is why I think a lot of people are having that hard time, and that's probably why you're busy. The therapists that are watching are probably busy right now because people have been taught and trained, and you taught us the self-care at plenty of our Catapult You retreats previously that is bigger than a massage. It's bigger than
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
going to get
Mm-hmm.
your nails done. And I'm glad that you taught me that 5 years ago. And you don't realize how much that changed my life because hearing
Mm-hmm.
that made me force myself to not put self-care on the back burner with these external rewards. And it
Right,
forced me
right.
to say, okay, something's not right that I need to get together that I can do today in my home. So I appreciate that. So
Right. Or I'll even tell Chris too. I'll do something so simple like walk to the mailbox slowly.
mm,
Walk to the mailbox slowly. What does the sun feel like on your skin? You know
mm,
what I mean? I love grass, so I love like walking barefoot in the grass. So some people know, some people don't. Put your feet in the grass. Walk to the mailbox. Feel the sun. You know what I mean? How many steps to the mailbox? You know what I'm saying? Like whatever, wherever you can do it, don't rush. Remember, we're not like rushing. We're not go, 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 go. So if
right.
you're at home, like do everything as intentional and purposeful as you can.
Right. She said she learned
Okay.
the craft, but she can do the other stuff, and I love that. And so, for those that are out there, we have even a pastor is joining us, saying yes, mindful minute. So once again, we
Hmm.
debunk the myth that you can't be a Christian and practice mindfulness. I love the idea that you're giving us these practical tips. Any more practical tips before we go on to some additional tools, or is it pretty much just really processing every moment and
Hmm.
finding the joy in those small moments? Is that pretty much what the
Yes,
takeaway from that?
that'll some of it for practical, like how you can do it day to day. Hmm.
Okay. So are there some tools? I know earlier Mercy asked about maybe some apps or some different tools that we can use to help us along our journey towards finding that optimal mindfulness.
Right. Yeah. So there are apps. Headspace is a big one. Headspace really kind of helps you focus on your breath and stay in the moment with your breath. And let me tell you, the number one tool really is yourself and your breath. The number
Mm,
one tool is yourself and your breath. So I just want to put that out there. A deep breath signals to your brain that everything's okay. Like it's literally, messages
right.
that we give to ourselves, right? So breathing decreases anxiety, right? So you yourself are your biggest tool. So I just want to put that out there. And so using yourself, you can use these tools. Headspace is mostly focused on like breathing. There are different kind of programs and things like that. Then there's the Calm app. That's breathing, but it's also guided. It's also story times for bed. If you can't kind of just let the thoughts go, you can listen to it, as you try to get ready for bed. And then another one that is not so popular, but I love it. It's called Oak, OAK. That's another app you can use to help you towards your mindfulness journey as well. So those are just apps. The actual like exercises are, a meditation, guided, not guided, yoga. These are tools to help you get towards mindfulness. Remember, it's a way of living, right? So
Right.
meditation, yoga, any form of exercise you can do mindfully. There's mindful walking, right? So you do some of those exercises to help you become more mindful. And let me see, as Corona leaves, there are actual workshops. Like I said, there are studies that after just an 8-week course, you know, blood pressure has lowered. So once Rona's over, you can actually look and look for some courses, called mindfulness-based stress reduction programs.
Hmm.
And if you want to enroll, cool. They have 1-day courses, long stretches or whatever the case may be. So I love those programs, and so those are some tools you can use to work towards your own mindfulness practice.
And I want to share one that I've used. It's called Abide, Abide, and that is similar to the Calm app, but it's based on Christian, prayers, Christian scriptures. And so for me, as a practicing Christian, it's been very helpful for me because we're still doing the breaths, we're still doing prayers, we're still doing mind
Right, right.
kind of guiding us. So I love those tools that you share. Here's a book that I've been reading too. And it gives us some tips. So Dr. Caroline Leaf, I'm sure the therapists that are watching have heard of her. She has a book called Think, Learn, Succeed, and a whole bunch of other stuff that I'll put up later. Let me see. I think I made a banner for it. There we go. Think, learn, succeed, understanding and using your mind to thrive at school, the workplace, and life. And her name is Caroline Leaf. They have it on Kindle. There's an audio version on Audible. And let me tell you why I love this book. It's been able to break down for me the science behind the mind, and it's been able to give practical tools to help me use what I have up here to practice that mindfulness and build that in. So she talks about detoxing the mind, setting your mindsets in the morning as you get ready for your day, going forward with that. So that's an awesome book. Kristen said that's a great read. And so Brittany asked a question: when you're feeling anxious, how do you stop and put yourself in a mindful place? What do we do in that regard? Is it just like, because you want us to
It's
feel
your
the
breath. Go straight to your breath.
straight to breath?
Your
Okay.
breath will lower your anxiety if you're
Okay.
intentional about it just for a few minutes, right? So with Brittany, there are a lot of different breathing techniques I teach my clients in session. So you can look some of those up if you'd like to just practice it. It could be nostril breathing. There's belly breathing, also square breathing, also known as diaphragmatic breathing. Like you just return to your breath as soon as you feel some anxious symptoms flaring up, and you're intentional for that time, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, it will decrease your anxiety. Okay. So I would say just kind of do some of those research on like breathing exercises that you like. Like some of my clients love the nostril breathing, and then some hate it, but they love the diaphragmatic belly breathing when you're on your back. So just go to your breath. If you feel it coming on, go to your breath. You can do this in the car. You can do this in the bathroom. You can do it wherever you are. Literally, the breath sends signals to your brain because our fight or flight kicks in. So by
Right.
breathing, you know what I mean? It tells us it's okay. Like, and fight or flight is good. That's how we protect ourselves. Anxiety helps us protect ourselves from danger. But
Right.
sometimes our brain internalized stress, that's dangerous. Or I have a
Right.
presentation that's dangerous. Oh my gosh. You know what I mean? So anxiety is supposed to protect us. It has a job to do. We don't want to get rid of anxiety. We want to manage it. We want to let the brain know this is okay. And
Right.
and most of the time you can get to it by channeling your breathing, changing it.
Right. And just kind of taking it in. And so what does the breath look like? It's like, is that just, I mean, I know I'm not a therapist.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And let me say this. I am gonna do some research, and if y'all are in the Facebook group, I'll find a YouTube video because I know there's one out there that has to be, and I'll put it in the YouTube in the group. So that's a but is that
Okay,
what it
okay.
looks
So I'll
like?
just tell you. Okay, so if you were at the doctor's office, y'all, right,
Right.
and the doctor said take a deep breath, what usually rises when you take a deep breath at the doctor's office?
Your chest, right?
Your chest, right? So
Mm-hmm.
we need to take it a little deeper than breathing and your chest rises. I want your stomach to rise.
Okay.
Okay. And that's what I want. That's the full deep breath. So when you breathe in through your nose, the belly expands. Okay. And when you breathe out, the belly deflates. And that may take some practice for some, you know. So that's how I want you to take that deeper breath into relaxing. Yeah. And you do it on some kind of a count, maybe a 4 count, a 6 count, you know, to just be intentional and slow about it. Right. So, I mean, I've done it and I've felt relief, you know, pretty soon. And I feel like you can too with practice. So it's just different techniques where you can return to the breath. It's not just, we're usually already breathing like, we're already breathing like that when we're
Right.
anxious. So you want to slow it down as much as you can.
Right. I love that. You know, for the singers, that's how they teach us to sing, sing from your belly,
Mm-hmm.
getting your belly. So that's kind of similar. We need to be doing that, like that mindful. And once
Right.
again, what it is training ourselves to slow down and even enjoy the smallest thing that we have to do to live, which is breathing. You got to breathe to
Breath.
live.
Yes.
You
Yes.
take the time to really process that. And so Chris said, let's practice
Right.
belly breathing.
Yeah,
Tasha,
and practice, and you have to be
so good.
present though. Yeah, and the thing about the breathing, like you will get distracted. Don't judge it. Come back. Don't
Right.
judge it. Come back and come back to the breath. Like feel it. Leaving your nose. Feel the air coming in. Feel the stomach expanding. Like it's all about being present. Set your timer. Like set your phone silent. You got something in the oven that's gonna be done in 10 minutes. Set your timer for 7, 8 minutes. You know what I mean? Do that, but be intentional about what you're doing, feeling the breath. If a distraction comes, you say, thank you. Thank you for that thought. I'm coming back to my breath. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like just be present with that.
Quick question, and this is just me academically. I can overthink things. I'm in the shower for my 5 minutes. I'm thinking about the breath and the hot, am I breathing in there too?
You
Or is
can,
it
yeah,
breath?
you can breathe normally.
Okay.
You can breathe normally. But if you're feeling like you have like a something that's making you anxious, in the day coming up, you can use your belly breathing wherever. You know what I mean? I use it in the car. I use it wherever. So yeah.
So belly breathing is more for a reset to get us back to mindfulness. But mindfulness is really the thought pattern. And I know we've been here on 45 minutes. I'm still learning mindfulness. So
It's okay. It's a journey. It's fine.
so the breath is a technique to get us back to that place of calm. But
Hmm.
reality is we need to start changing our thought pattern about how we're doing this thing called life so that we're intentional and moving through and enjoying. Even you see how I'm slowing myself down. I'm making myself slow down
Hmm.
as I'm talking to you
Hmm.
and processing it all. I love this. I love this.
Yeah.
This has been amazing. This has been amazing. Do we have any more? I love Latasha said toss some eucalyptus or lavender in the shower with the steam. I definitely do that. I got some little essential oils. I put that in my
Perfect.
little shower, and I love that because that helps liven up your senses. Even if I have
Hmm.
5 minutes to get it done, that does
Hmm.
help liven up my senses. So this has been great. Let me tell you, um, I'm reading that book that I told you. I just called it Think, Grow, Succeed. But let me find the banner again for those of you who are interested in it. And we're actually getting ready to roll out the Catapult You virtual book club. So I'm really excited about it. For those of you all who are watching for the first time, who don't know what Catapult You is, as I said at the beginning, we are a tribe of women who are helping each other and pushing each other towards our personal goal of work-life balance, whatever that means, because work-life balance is different for each lady. But I really wanted, as I started reading this book, I came across it as a suggestion from my sister about mindfulness because she saw how I was just running crazy. And so we're going to be reading this book. Hey, Jen Ty is here, our resident chef. We're going to be reading Dr. Carolyn Lee's book. Now, I have been hesitant to join book clubs before because I'll be honest, that's something else on my to-do list that I already have that's this long. But I'm starting this book club because it's a place for us to kind of, love on ourselves. And so it's going to be called the first book of reading is Think, Learn, Succeed, Understanding and Using Your Mind to Thrive at School, the Workplace, and Life. We're going to be reading that. The book club is virtual. We haven't picked a date just yet, but our program chair is going to be rolling out some things. So if you are excited about joining, just comment book club. We already got 4 people in it. So if you want to join the book club, comment book club, comment I'm in. So we know to send you the link for the private book club. But the reason I'm excited about starting this book club is I want us to have actual tools that keep us moving toward the mark of that work-life balance. Stephanie, you're my best friend. So you were the first Catapult You 5 years ago. You saw how it fell off because I was not practicing what I preached. I was not really following through. I was using Catapult You as like the church folk user revival. I would go to the seminar, have a good weekend, and not really do anything between that to help me kind of continue on. And so the book club is another tool that keeps us women, whether we're mamas, whether we're just women climbing and I don't say just, whether we're women climbing the corporate ladder, it keeps us focused on us unapologetically. We have no problem saying this is about me. If you're looking for a place that tells you you can have a 30-minute shower, join our group, because I know there's so many people out there who are glorifying the martyr. They're glorifying the idea that women can't be who they need to be for themselves. That's not us. Our tribe fundamentally believes that when we're best by ourselves, we're better mamas, sisters, girlfriends, and friends to
Mhm.
whoever else is out there. And so this book club is another tool. Hey, book club, I'm excited. Okay. Y'all know I wasn't on my comment. I didn't see the comment. So, hey, Tasha, y'all gonna be getting the link. I can't wait to see y'all in the book club. And here's the thing, it's not gonna be we're judging you. You don't get the book finished. We want to try to push for it, but this is another tool for us ladies to come together and just really focus on ourselves. And so, because we're talking about mindset, Stephanie, you and I, in preparing for this show, you had kind of highlighted to me how important mindset is. So, it was to me very important that we start with the book focusing on mindset, because if we can get that together. Hey, Sharice, me and Sharice are doing a Bible challenge right now, so I'm excited about that. So for you ladies who are joining the book club, it's okay, Sharice, you can catch the replay. Please join the book club. I'll put the book up again for you all who want to get a head start on it. It's called Think, Learn, Succeed: Understanding and Using Your Mind to Thrive at School, the Workplace, and Life, and it's written by Dr. Carolyn Lee. So the book club will be virtual. Some other tools that we have for you all is joining our private Facebook group, Catapult You Work Life Balance for Women. So I think many of you all are already members of the group, but if you're not, please join it. It's obviously free to join. It's a Facebook group. It is our closed tribe where we not only watch the videos that we have every Friday, but we also have discussions about, working out. We share recipes. I had a moment a couple weeks ago. I was like, y'all, it's Tuesday. I'm stressed. Pray. And the ladies was like, we got you, And so I love
Mhm.
that. A place for us to really take the cape off and say, y'all, I need you, and we're there. So please, if you haven't already, join the Facebook group. We also have two events coming up. The first is our networking brunch. So we're going to add the link to the comments. It's going to be August 15th. My prayer is that Corona is gone back to where she came from. Again. But regardless, we are going to be doing social distance. We have cute little masks. We have a large enough space. We're going to get together. We're going to be doing 6 feet apart social distancing. But I think it's important for us. I thought about doing it virtually, and if the Lord says so, we will. But until then, I'm going to move forward with being in person, because I think there's something beautiful about us being able to come together and feel each other's energy, see each other's eyebrows, not to smile because we'll have the mask on, but feel each other and be there as a tribe. So that's coming on. And then, speaking of mindfulness, we are going to be having a retreat. We're bringing back the Catapult You retreat. Um, and I don't see the banner on there, so y'all forgive me, but the information is in the Facebook group, where we will be discussing, everything from, we're gonna have a pajama party on Friday. So y'all come on in. We're gonna sit and have girl talk. Saturday, we're gonna be doing yoga overlooking Stone Mountain, and then we're gonna have a vision board party. And so that's gonna be in October. So mark your calendars for October 16th through 18th. I say all that to say this tribe is amazing, and we are building a great unit of women who are pushing each other forward in all aspects of our life, whether it's physical, mental, spiritual, or emotional. Stephanie, before we log off, why don't you share with everyone where they can follow you?
Sure, you all can follow me on my Instagram page and Facebook page. They're both at Mindful Therapy Works. So you'll get great information on the IG page. My website is www.mindfultherapyworks.com. I have some blog articles on there you can read. It has information about me, myself, the practice. So yeah, follow me on Instagram and Facebook.
So yes, so here's where you can find Stephanie. And the reason I love her, like I said, the buzzword has been around mindfulness for the past, couple years, couple months, whatever. But you've been really focusing on this for years, and you've shared, if I can just share with me, your vision for us in the African American community, seeing the beauty of mindfulness and really using that to our advantage. We have so much that's playing in our mind. We have so much, folks getting killed daily. Our people are dying at a higher rate from coronavirus. Our kids are being picked out in the school system, in addition to all the other stuff that we carry
Right.
as women, as mamas, as sisters, as girlfriends, as
Right.
wives, as employees, as employers. We have so much that we're carrying. And a lot of us have gotten ahead by negatively coping with the mind, like I'll deal
Yeah.
with it when I get to it. And like I said at the beginning of the show, some of us have taken the step of going to a therapist only once we've experienced trauma. When
Mhm.
we are like me, when I was talking to you crying about something, I don't even remember. You said, girl, maybe you should go see a therapist. And I love you for that, Stephanie. So I'm telling everybody, I have a therapist as well. Not Stephanie, because she's my best friend, but she
Right.
realized that I was not really getting where I needed to be and I was getting things done, but it was wearing on my mind. And so I loved you for that. But I love the idea of mindfulness as a tool, a preventative. It doesn't prevent negative things from happening, obviously, but it changes our mindset from judging what happens to us so that we can bounce and move forward. So thank you
Right.
so much. You've been
Thank you for
amazing.
having me. Thank you.
I
I
think your
enjoyed it.
husband is here. See, Titus is watching, I think. Cherie said your husband came in the room. So
Aw.
yay. We don't see him, but hey, Titus, if you're here, my boy, he ain't watching a couple of weeks, so I'm gonna make sure he knows that Titus' husband's are watching the show, baby.
He'll
So
be on the next one. He'll be on the
he'll
next
be on
one.
the next one, y'all. I thank y'all so much for watching. Follow Stephanie, follow us on Instagram, Facebook, join the group if you haven't already. Sign up, register for the brunch, and we'll see y'all soon. And book club, ladies, you'll be getting an invitation within the next week. Give the team time to kind of get everything together because we want to do everything in excellence. But just make sure that you know that we got you coming with this book club, ladies. So thank y'all so much. Brittany said, thank you for doing this. You're so welcome. Chris said this was great. Bravo. Jen said, thank you guys. You're so welcome. And Stephanie, I thank you. I think that I hadn't realized, I'm slowly realizing the importance of Titus said, I guess that's what's up. Titus is one of my friends from law school, in addition to being Stephanie's amazing husband. You all are so welcome. Follow Steph, join the tribe, and we'll see y'all next week. Take care.
Thank you. Thank you,
Bye,
everyone.
y'all.
Bye.